Students, as position of masses change, as position of the masses change, center of mass position changes. Therefore, if we are calculating XCM, we generally take the formula m1x1 plus m2x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Let us consider that the displacement of the individual particles are delta x1 and delta x2. Displacement of center of mass. Now, when we are dealing with displacement, let m1 has displacement delta x1, m2 has displacement delta x2. If m1, m2 positions are being changed, then obviously the position of center of mass also changes. Therefore, displacement of center of mass can be written as m1 into delta x1 plus m2 into delta x2 divided by m1 plus m2. This is how you can find out displacement of the center of mass. Next, velocity of center of mass. So in order to calculate velocity, as we know, velocity is equal to rate of change of displacement. You can write velocity of center of mass is equal to delta xcom divided by delta t. That means displacement of the center of mass divided by time taken gives you velocity of the center of mass. So I can write VCOM is equal to m1 into delta x1 divided by delta t plus m2 into delta x2 divided by delta t divided by m1 plus m2. This can be written as V velocity of the center of mass is m1 v1 plus m2 v2 divided by m1 plus m2. This is velocity of the center of mass. And if you are calculating change in velocity, you will be getting acceleration center of mass, that is delta VCOM divided by delta t gives you acceleration center of mass. So ACOM will be equal to m into delta V1 divided by delta t plus m2 into delta V2 divided by delta t by m1. I'm sorry. So ACOM is equal to m1 into delta V1 divided by delta t plus m2 into delta V2 divided by delta t divided by m1 plus m2. This gives you acceleration of the center of mass is equal to m1 a1 plus m2 a2 divided by m1 plus m2. Once we have calculated acceleration of the center of mass, you can find out force acting on the object and also momentum of the center of mass. So you can find out momentum of the center of mass. Momentum of center of mass is P COM, which is equal to m into V COM. This is total mass, m into V COM. This gives you change in momentum or momentum center of mass. Likewise, you can calculate even force. Force is equal to total mass into acceleration of the center of mass. Now, when you are acting a force, because of that force, there will be change in the positions of the individual particles, resulting in change in the position of center of mass. That results change in center of mass velocity and as well as acceleration. So if there is any external force acting on the object, it results acceleration of the center of mass. So therefore, external force acting on objects will produce acceleration of the center of mass. Therefore, F external can be written as m into delta A or A COM. Likewise, you can write F external is equal to delta P COM divided by delta T, or you can write it as dP COM divided by dt. So whenever there is force acting on the object, there will be change in the momentum. Corresponding to that, there will be some acceleration. So when there is change in momentum due to external force, you will be calculating change in momentum to find out the external force. Suppose if external force acting on the system, if external force on system is equal to 0, that is F external is equal to 0, which is equal to dP COM divided by dt. That should be equal to 0, that is dP COM divided by dt will be equal to 0. Differentiation of anything is equal to 0. It means that P COM is equal to constant. That means center of mass momentum will be remained constant. This is called law of conservation of momentum. This is called law of conservation of momentum. So we have now discussed displacement of the center of mass, velocity of the center of mass, acceleration of the center of mass, force acting on the center of mass, and also momentum and conservation of momentum of the center of mass. And remember that if there is any external force acting on the system, then only momentum will undergo change. If there is no external force acting on the system, law of conservation of momentum holds good. Conservation of momentum is holding good. It means that if external forces are non-zero, then there will be change in the momentum. If suppose there is only internal force acting on the system, because of that internal force, center of mass will not change. That's one important thing which you should remember. So as I have just now told you, external force will change the position and path of the center of mass, but internal forces does not change the path of center of mass or position of the center of mass. For example, what is meant by internal force? Let me explain it clearly. Let us take an explosion. This is a bomb. Now initially it is in rest position and it is mixed with many particles. This is initially rest. What is initial momentum? It is 0. Initially it is in rest position. So therefore its momentum will be equal to 0. Now as by itself, because of its own internal force, what would happen? This bomb would undergo explosion and as a result it gets converted into many pieces, and these pieces will be moving in random different directions as this way. So after explosion, all masses move in different directions. Because there is no external forces acting over here, Only internal force is acting. Because of that internal imbalance forces acting inside the bomb, it gets exploded into as many parts as possible. To conserve the momentum, all the parts which it has been exploded will be moving in different directions, and as a result conservation of momentum is valid. P initial is equal to P final, delta P is equal to 0. There is conservation of momentum is valid over here. Now what about center of mass? Before explosion, where center of mass lie after explosion also. Center of mass lie in the same position. So before explosion and after explosion, center of mass will be lying at the same position. So that means its mass is concentrated at this position, its mass is concentrated here, its mass is concentrated here, its mass is concentrated here. All the particles mass before explosion, their center of mass is at the center. After explosion also, all the individual particles which has been broken into different parts, all their center of mass will be lying at the same position where initially it is. Because there is no external force acting here, center of mass position does not change. That's one example. And one more example. Let me take one more example. Suppose you are throwing a projectile in this direction. You are taking a projectile. This projectile takes this path. This is path of the projectile. As the velocity of this body is in this direction, and along x-axis it is v cos theta, and along y-axis it is v sin theta. And at the highest position, it explodes into two parts. And when it is moving over here, this is actual path of the center of mass. Now at the highest point, body explodes. Body explodes into two parts. That means it has broken into two parts. One part goes in this direction, another part go in this direction. But remember, even though after breaking, the path of center of mass would not change. So even though particles are individually moving in different directions, the path of center of mass does not change. So before explosion and after explosion, path of center of mass will be remained same. Right? This is one of the important concept which you should understand. The path of center of mass does not change. The position of center of mass does not change due to internal forces. Only external forces can change the position and path of the center of mass. Yeah. Students, we already have learned what is meant by center of mass. Now, for example, there is one mass here, there is another mass here, there is another mass here, and there is another mass here. It is M1, M2, M3, and M4. All these masses have center of mass situated at this position. This is center of mass position. Okay. So M1, M2, M3, M4, all their masses are concentrated only at this position, which is center of mass. Individually, upon each mass, there is gravitational force acting in downward direction. Likewise, on the center of mass also, there is a gravitational force which is acting in downward direction. That is mass into acceleration due to gravity. And this mass is the total mass which is concentrated at the center of mass. That mass multiplied with acceleration due to gravity is simply called center of gravity. It is a center of gravity. Normally, if individual masses are pulled towards the earth, we call it as gravity. But whereas if the gravitational force is acting at the position where center of mass is lying, that is said to be as a center of gravity. Now, if you observe this clearly, here this person is throwing a bottle which has center of mass over here. This is center of mass position, and that center of mass is being pulled in downward direction by gravitational force. Everywhere, center of mass is pulled in downward direction by the gravitational force. Right? This position is called center of mass, and upon that center of mass, whatever the gravitational force is acting here, it is mg, and this is also mg, this is also mg, this is also mg, this is also mg, this is also mg. And this mass into acceleration due to gravity is said to be as a center of gravity. And remember, at position of center of mass, there cannot be any mass, there need not be any mass. And similarly, at the position of center of gravity also, there need not be any mass. See, in this example, which we have discussed, in this example, at this position, actually, there will be no mass. M1, M2, M3, M4 are at different positions. And at that position where center of mass is lying, there we do not have any mass. But even though there acts some gravitational force in downward direction, that is called center of gravity. Likewise, here for this bird, this is center of mass. This is center of mass. This is center of mass. Bird can be in any position. Bird can fly in any different orientation, but there will be only one center of mass for it. And upon that center of mass, there will be a gravitational force which is pulling it in downward direction. That is called center of gravity. You can clearly understand that in this animation. See, in the animation, there is only one force acting at the center of mass which pulls the whole body in downward. That is called center of gravity. Center of gravity is acting through this body, and it will be in downward direction. This is center of gravity direction, and it is mg. This is also mg. This is also mg, and it is called center of gravity. Center of gravity. Center of gravity. So I'll make it one point clear. Center of mass is total mass concentrated at one point, whereas center of gravity is gravitational force. Center of gravity is the gravitational force acting on center of mass of the object, of the system. Right? So remember that center of mass is concerned with mass, and its unit is kg in SI system and gram in CGS system. Likewise, center of gravity is concerned with force. So its unit can be Newton in SI system and Dyne in CGS system. So center of gravity is the gravitational force acting at the center of mass. Center of mass is concerned with the concentration of total masses at that particular position. For regular, uniformly distributed masses, center of mass and center of gravity coincide with each other. Coincide with each other, and geometric center will be the position of center of mass and center of gravity. This is for regular shaped objects. For regular shaped objects is valid, but for irregular shaped objects, for irregular shapes, center of mass position and center of gravity position is not same. They are different. Center of gravity position will be different, center of mass position will be different. And remember, there can be mass situated at the position of center of mass, or there need not be any mass situated at the position of center of mass. That's very important thing you should remember.